Clap sync.
Okay.
Which camera should I look at for the main camera? This camera or that camera?
Maybe.
I think that one probably.
Probably this one.
One.
You know, there's a man in the NBA named Bismack Biyombo.
Really?
Yeah, and they call him Biz.
What?
Big business.
That's not real.
There's an artist called Biz Mackey.
Biz Mackey.
Yeah.
Anthony Mackie. Falcon Winter Soldier. Marvel movies. Spider-Man 3 came out.
Well, that's our podcast, everybody.
Goodbye. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our first episode of our little podcast that we have here. We're just going to be talking about some things, as people tend to do on podcasts.
I think that's what happens.
I think so, too.
People, places, and things.
People, places, and things. Nouns.
Not places.
No.
They don't talk about places.
We don't talk about places.
No places.
That's forbidden.
Forget about it. Anyway, the Eiffel Tower in Italy. Great place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How is it actually made?
Wait, we can't talk about places. That's not what they do on podcasts.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we're going to talk about just, various things with our YouTube experience so far. Maybe some past memories.
And maybe some future upcoming memories that we'll make.
Ooh.
Future memories.
We'll make it with you.
Update you on everything that's going on, because there's been a little bit of a hiatus, as they say.
Real high one.
And we've been working on something big, some other side projects, some ideas.
That's like 2 words. Hi, Adis.
Hi, Adis.
Hello, Adis.
I was
That's
just
my
talking
cousin.
to Adis.
I was thinking of like highs and drugs. Can we say that?
Well, Adis could also be high. So you could be
Adis, the
saying,
human person. So
yeah, Adis. So,
Adis.
like if you knew he was high and you were saying hello, you're like, hi, Adis.
Wait, who ate us?
Who ate us? Hi, Adis.
Hi, Adis. Okay.
Hi, Adis.
So someone could be named Hi or Adis.
Are we living in Adis's gut? Because he ate us.
It's pretty cold in this gut.
Yeah,
Why are we telling him hi?
Hi.
No, he is high.
Adis. Yeah, he is high.
But we're in the belly of
So-
Adis.
We're in the belly of
Because he
a
ate us.
high Adis.
Yeah.
And he ate us.
And he ate us.
Hi, Adis ate us.
Now that's
Yes.
a paradox on its own.
Paradoxi?
Paradoxi.
That's right.
Paradoxes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So, in honor of us first starting this podcast, we wanted to talk about what it was like first starting the channel and what it was like with the baby video, as some of you probably have watched. If you went to our school, you probably heard it blaring in the hallways of Heartland Christian.
Joseph,
Unfortunately.
what is the baby video?
The baby video. Yes, let me explain. So we came up with this idea in our Family Foundations class, and that's where we learned about everything that happens with the body. I won't go into detail.
Why not?
Babies and things.
Babies and things.
Babies!
The birds and also some bees were talked about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
More
Both of
bees than
those.
birds.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. But lots of honey.
One of the extra credit projects was that we had to take one of those little fake babies, and it liked to scream, and it was just hilarious. You would pop back the neck, and it would just wail. So you would hear that all throughout the hallway that day.
And this was the first video on the Lost
Oh yeah,
Potatoes
it was our
channel.
first
First
creation.
video.
It is
Yes.
now over 4 years old.
Wow.
With like
It's
four?
it's over 500.
Over 500.
Over 500
Around
views.
500 views.
If you want to just laugh at our physical appearance, go back and watch it because we're like 14 years old in that video.
Yeah.
Not me. I wasn't in that.
Yeah, you weren't
video.
in it.
Yes.
So,
It was
Yes.
you and me and Juan.
Yeah.
And that was like honestly for a first video, it was pretty good for a first video. I think.
Honestly, it wasn't
Like-
bad. But I just don't know why we decided to make an outro.
Yeah, we shouldn't have done that.
That was not a good idea.
We should have thought of ourselves at this present day, knowing that we would have hated it,
Yeah.
and should have not done it. That's what I think.
Why didn't you do that?
We could technically just clip it out, because you can do that now.
Oh,
on
we
YouTube.
could. Yeah, with the memes.
But the memes.
The memes.
Yeah.
You might want to leave it.
Now, this might be a conversation for later with the paradoxes and such, but doesn't that imply that if time travel does exist, you guys have never accessed it? Because otherwise, you would have went back in time and stopped yourselves.
Well, I don't know. That's the very first, like, out of all my entire life, I haven't made any big bad mistakes or anything. But I don't think I'd be like, I have a time machine, gonna go back to when I filmed the baby video and stop us from filming the outro.
Well, I don't know.
I feel like I might be like, hey, John Wilkes Booth, how about you don't go shoot that President Lincoln fella?
Well, what if
all
that's
this.
a fixed point in time that has many repercussions?
It could.
You
Could
know?
that branch off?
If you stop that from happening,
Who?
what if an entirely different outcome
Yeah.
occurred? And what if it wasn't a good one?
Do you think if Abraham Lincoln never died, the country would be better off or worse off than it is right now?
Oh, I don't know.
There's too many things that could have happened.
I don't know enough about it.
Because, like, who would have become president after him? We don't know.
John Wilkes Booth.
John Wilkes Booth could have ran.
Yeah.
That'd be quite the twist. But hey.
Bananas.
Anyway, back to starting our channel. And then
Yeah.
that was before Jace here was involved with us at that point in time,
Mm-hmm.
and the first video you were in was kind of like an infomercial, making fun of infomercials kind of video
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
about a product we called the Funnel,
The funeral.
Yes.
and it's just a funnel,
Just a
Yeah.
funnel.
basically.
But like a baking funnel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you remember that video that day super well when we were recording?
I remember some of it. I remember blurring license plates and editing.
Even though you could see right through it.
Yeah. I remember being this really weird, creepy guy, and that was a lot of fun. That was a really fun first project because I felt like I got to kind of stretch my silly boy acting
Mhm.
muscles.
Silly boy acting muscles.
Yeah, and that was a good time. I
Yeah,
liked
it was very fun. Do you remember how hard it was for you to like be in front of the camera for the first time?
it.
Because I remember that there was some difficulty. You're like, oh wait, what am I supposed to do? And there were like a few times for that.
I still kind of suffer from that sometimes, where
Mhm.
where it's like as soon as the camera gets turned on, it happened a lot in Joker, where as soon as like okay we're rolling, I like have
You
no
tense up.
idea what I'm doing.
But if we didn't say anything about the camera,
Yeah.
then it was like it was
Then it's
so
just
And
perfect.
I remember
Yeah.
several
Yeah.
times during that and during the project we're working on now, where like you'd do a practice run when the camera wasn't rolling. We're like, we should have been recording that. That was perfect.
Yeah, exactly.
It is really different when the camera comes on. Like just now for this intro for the podcast. That's the one thing I still like hate doing. I don't
Oh,
like
it's
doing
so
intros.
bad.
It's so bad.
Hmm.
Intros are the worst because you're like, what if I say something stupid and everyone right here hears me just be like, yo, what's going on, guys?
And it's like at the very start of something, so that's like an easy out for somebody to click off.
yeah, but like,
Yeah.
did he just say that? I'm done. I'm leaving.
Yeah.
The thing I remember about filming Funnel was it was probably like 30 degrees or so outside.
so
It was really
cold.
cold. And the first shot of the video, I spill water on my face.
Oh yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was friggin' cold.
Oh dang it!
There has to be a better way.
But there is.
But there is. And
Yeah.
there you were.
There I was.
Your first line was, but there is.
But there is.
And it was
My
just a
first word was
voiceover.
but.
But
Yeah,
That's-
and it was ADR.
yeah. I also remember I had a cough during that period of time. I was like coughing all the time. And then there was a shot at the end of the video where I'm supposed to like choke on the water. And when I did that, I just like actually started coughing.
Oh
And
yeah.
actually
yeah,
so-
we were kind of like, should we just keep rolling? And I was like recording.
I was like,
You had the funnel in your mouth
I
as you
did.
were laying down, and I was pouring liquid into your mouth funnel.
Yeah, and then I like
Yeah.
exploded it out everywhere. Pre-COVID-19, so it was okay.
Yeah, it
Sure.
was safe, so don't worry.
Don't worry about it at all.
Don't worry.
There was no such thing as viruses back then. So,
Yeah,
virus
I'm
side.
pretty sure.
yeah.
Yeah, that's how it all kind of started, I think, for us, and now here we are.
Mhm.
By the time we filmed Funo, I assume we probably had like 60 subscribers,
Probably.
and now
They
we-
were all duplicate accounts too.
Yeah, they were all us.
And like my
No, they
mom
weren't.
and dad.
That was a lie.
That was a lie. Yeah,
I have never made several accounts and so
What several accounts?
that's cheating.
yeah, I don't know what you're
That's
talking about.
cheating.
And as it stands right now, we have 232.
Sean, we're trying to do a
subscribers.
podcast. Get off your phone.
Sorry,
Your butt.
But his
That was my first
debut.
word.
but
But.
what would have? I guess I had the very first word ever on the channel. 'Cause I
Yeah,
said
does.
does. Does
Yeah.
your child friggin' whine or cry?
What about yours? What was your first word?
It
You talked in
it
that
was
video.
at the outro. Oh wait, no. Oh, I
Nice.
said ready, ready, son.
Yeah, you did.
So,
Ready, son?
Does butt ready?
Does butt
Or
ready?
Ready does butt.
Ready does butt.
I guess
It
so.
could be.
Yeah.
Or butt does ready.
Butt
Yeah.
does
It's like
ready.
when you're about to poop.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Butt does ready.
Butt does
Butt does
ready.
ready.
That's like how a toddler would say it, and they're like not quite well versed in English. And I'm like, Mom, I gotta go poop. Butt does ready. I think that's
right.
what they say.
Okay, son.
Okay, son.
I'm gonna take you to the potty.
To the potty.
Danielson, that is.
Danielson.
Danielson.
Yeah. So that was back in our high school days.
High school days.
And so, do you guys have any embarrassing stories about like terrible things that have happened, like school horror stories that you might have had a dream of?
So-
or something, but it actually happened.
Oh yeah, it was
Yeah.
a nightmare in reality. I think I never did this after like elementary school, but I think I threw up at school like 5 times. I just had like I don't know if I had bad luck or what, but the cream of the
embarrassing.
crop worst one. I remember the food I had because the color was so distinct when it came out. That morning I had
Sorry.
oh
Nice.
sounds like you're about to vomit right now.
I might.
Yeah.
That morning I had key lime pie flavored Yoplait yogurt. It was like it wasn't my favorite, but it was there, and I was
Bright
like,
green.
yeah,
vomit.
bright green.
Ew.
So we go to school. We go to chapel. It's first thing in the morning. I'm sitting there, in my little chair as a little boy.
In your little pants.
In my little pants.
This is the video.
It came in.
We've been wanting to say the phrase. Is this a phrase? It's 2 words. Is that a phrase?
I call it a phrase. Little pants.
Pair of words.
We've been wanting to say this pair of words in a video for so long. Little pants. We just think it's a funny little 2-word
You pronounce
pair.
both the T's.
Yeah.
Little pants.
Little pants?
It just seems funny.
So I guess this is the Little Pants video.
Little Pants video.
Little Pants podcast.
Is
that our name?
The Little Pants podcast.
That's awesome.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Anyway, I was sitting there in chapel, and my stomach, it starts brewing. It's making some noises. I'm feeling sick.
Stomach does ready.
Stomach does already. And so I realize what's about to happen, and I stand up, and I'm like, what do? I'm not going to make it to the bathroom. Should I just, like, run outside and spew? And in the middle of my thinking, it was go time. And I threw up directly on the person sitting in front of me in chapel. So I covered the chair and, like, went all down this poor soul's back. I guess I won't say that.
Why don't we just censor it? I want to know who it is.
It was...
Have you ever apologized for that? Like,
I did the first day I came back to school after I was sick.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry. Yeah, that was gross.
It'd be kind of funny if you just didn't apologize.
Yeah, she deserved it.
You know that app After School? You should have just typed in that and said, to I sincerely apologize for throwing up on you. You know who this is.
I bet that individual vividly remembers that happening.
I bet. She got thrown up on.
Thrown up
That's
on.
vomit.
That was
excuse me, they. We can't disclose information.
Genderless individual. I wouldn't go that far. But that's probably the most embarrassing moment of my life, because the entire school was there, and I just stood up. all over the chair.
You woke up that day, you were ready to learn about Jesus.
Yeah, I was ready.
You vomited.
I wanted to learn about the Sermon on the Mount.
So wait, I have a question.
And there's a sermon and a fount.
Sermon on the fount. Sermon with the fount.
With the fount.
Okay, so my question is, you stand up, you throw up all over.
Yes.
What do you do as soon as that happens?
Well, Mrs. Maines, which was our 3rd and 4th grade teacher.
Oh, but we can't
not
say
your
that
third
name, though.
I think we.
Yeah, we can.
We can.
Mrs. Maines.
Should any names be said?
Yeah,
any outside names?
Well, if I give like first and last, I think it should probably get censored. But
okay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering about people like knowing our location. Should we say anything that gives away like our location?
Well, there's no way to track her down from there.
Yeah.
Well, I can probably Google search Mrs. Maines and then see where she is taught, and then line up our supposed ages with blah blah blah. Then someone might come and kill us, just like John Wilkes Booth.
Oh my
John
gosh.
Wilkes Booth, here he comes again. It all lives back to John Wilkes.
I'm just
every time.
teasing. Sorry.
But yeah, so our teacher was up there, like talking to us or whatever about what we were gonna do that day. And then when it happened, she went, "Oh my!" She sees a little boy in his little pants spewing vomit on the person in front of him.
It wasn't little vomit.
It was lots.
Lots
You know
of
that
vomit.
little side door in the chapel that goes outside
Yeah.
to like the back parking lot? She and some other teachers took me out there, and I just continued to vomit outside. That's what happened. And then my dad picked me up when I went home.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh my!
Oh my!
That is a
Little
horror
vomit,
story.
little pants, little boy.
That was me. Spew boy.
I'm hot, dude.
Yeah, it's so warm in here. Yeah,
Staying hydrated.
good.
My sleeves are just like, I've kind of got a bit bulkier, right?
Yeah,
My sleeves are just barely not quite long enough to like be good.
it's a blessing and a curse.
I'm gonna have to roll these up probably. So
Yeah,
they look good.
probably.
Yeah,
Anyone else have some embarrassing childhood stories?
I definitely do.
Uh-oh.
It's like, I feel like it's straight out of a movie because it was first day at our school.
First day.
And so
How old were you when you went to that school? Our school?
It was 4th grade.
We have to keep on censoring
Yeah,
Jace.
I know, that's why I'm doing it. Can I say the F word?
Do it.
I mean,
No.
you're a grown adult and you can make your own decisions.
Is he Murphy in this house? Then I will not say it.
Don't say
Yeah,
it.
try again. Anyway.
Yeah.
Try again.
What age are people usually when they're in 4th grade? Is that like
I was
Is
9.
9?
9?
Really? Oh my gosh.
In 4th grade?
Maybe.
Yeah,
Hang on.
Kindergarten's
Okay, so
5.
Kindergarten is 5.
Is kindergarten 5?
5.
Yeah.
So first, 6,
Six.
7. Oh,
8,
okay.
9.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was probably 9. And I remember the exact outfit that I was wearing. It's kind of ironic now, working at the Home Depot with an orange polo. Because I
Ooh.
wore an orange polo that day.
You wore an orange
I
polo?
wore an orange polo.
Wow.
Because I wanted to look snazzy.
Snazzy.
And I think I wore, like, cargo shorts or something.
Snaps.
It doesn't get better than that.
It doesn't. That was the fit.
The fit.
And for some reason, when I got there, I was really upset that there were no guys in my class because one guy was gone and the other guy was also gone. So it was just me. I was the only guy.
Why did that upset you?
I don't know.
When you're that young, it's kind of like, this sucks.
You're like,
really?
I have to sit by a girl?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I was that way.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been a player my whole life.
When
You must have been.
When I was in preschool, I was the only boy, and I didn't like that at all. But, yeah.
It is
preschool?
upsetting
Preschool,
when
yeah.
you're younger. Yeah.
Yeah.
But no shade to girls. But
You're throwing shade.
oh, I'm throwing all
You're
the
a
shade.
meninist.
They are nice and cool right now from all this shade that they're sitting on.
And because of how cold it is outside.
It is real
freezing,
cold outside.
yeah.
We're filming this on New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
I don't know
Yeah,
if
this is
that-
New Year's Eve.
I don't know if that matters. Happy New Year's Eve,
Happy
everyone.
New Year's
Happy New Year's Eve,
Yes.
everybody.
It's a good day.
This isn't coming out on New Year's Eve, but
No.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is probably going to be a little bit later, towards the beginning of the year.
January.
You'll just have to
Sometime in
reminisce
January.
on New Year's Eve from what you remember, like from your party, when you watch this. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very much so.
But anyway, back to my
Yes,
story.
back to your
Right.
story.
It's
Orange polo,
just
cargo
now getting
shorts.
good.
Yeah.
So wait, I'm sorry, I have a quick question.
Yes.
Did you tuck in your polo, or was it?
No, I wasn't a loser.
He
Okay.
he was a looser.
Yeah, I was a.
But not a loser.
Yeah,
it was loose.
So I was an untucked orange polo guy, and so the day was going on. It was fine. I was just really nervous because it's like a new school, and then I was like, "Mrs. Brady, can I go to the bathroom?" And she's like, "Yeah, totally." And I'd never gone to the bathroom before. And I
Ever in your whole life?
think- not at this school.
What
anyway.
doesn't ready?
But it's not
But just not
ready.
ready. And so I grabbed the little like wooden hall pass or whatever, and I head down the hallway. And both of the bathroom doors were open. There was like a wall, so you couldn't actually like see inside
Yeah.
from the outside. But one was blue, and one was like a tan. Like it was just like it kind
Mostly-
of seemed to be a feminine color, and I couldn't see. I think you can see where I'm going with this. I couldn't see the sign that said like men and women, so I was just like, yeah, this is fine. So I went into the blue bathroom thinking like that they're making stereotypes, and so I go in. There's no urinals. Thought that was kind of weird. Hello, would you like to be on our podcast?
Oh, I'm
Yeah, we're also filming.
We're also
so-
filming with two angles.
You're in.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
two different
Get
angles.
pumped.
She's been pranked, everyone. We got her twice.
I'm so sorry.
That's funny.
We were just sitting around the fire sharing,
Ha!
childhood horror stories.
You know, with two cameras set
Yeah.
up. And
I was
all
like,
that.
oh, I love this story. I want to try it.
Anyway, I'm there. I find that there's no urinals. I think nothing of it. I continue to pee, and I do my thing. I wash my hands, go back to the classroom. Apparently, I wasn't alone, is what I found out, because this girl, she's so annoying. She went up to the teacher, and she decided to whisper something to her. Except whisper very loudly too, so everybody could hear.
Oh,
She said,
no.
I think Joe went to the girls' bathroom.
Joseph is a
Uh-oh.
Leave that part.
And anyway, everybody laughed, and it was an embarrassing moment for me.
I have to agree with the blue bathroom
Yeah.
philosophy.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess out of the two of them, I don't know if it's kind of like a brown tan.
Yeah,
the boys'
brown-
bathroom there.
Brown
Yeah,
is
that's
for boys, and
I guess
blue is for girls.
they should have made the girls pink or something.
Yeah.
Blue, because like in the stereotypical gender colors is that exact shade of blue for boys.
I have no comment about
But-
anything that we're talking about right now.
But brown is also kind of a masculine color, I guess.
So
You know?
just two masculine colors for each.
So you took a
bathroom.
guess,
Yeah.
and it just happened to be the wrong one.
I guess wrong.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess just another example of how our society has many shortcomings in its gender stereotypes.
Nah.
Nah.
Forget about it. Yeah. Do you have an embarrassing childhood story
A horror
that
story.
comes to mind?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So, I went into the brown bathroom one time, which is the male bathroom.
Oh, okay.
And this was when I was actually in Mrs. Main's class at this time too.
Oh.
So this was just a few short years before your throwing up incident.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
Would have been.
So Mrs. Maines has experienced this story chronologically before your story.
It's in her timeline.
In
earlier.
her timeline, my story comes first.
Okay.
Okay, so did you just
Excuse
bell?
me.
Wow.
My belt's real good.
So, back in the day, it wasn't just like, hey, teacher, could I go to the bathroom? Because, you know, we're in 3rd grade, right? And so we'd all go together. You know, we'd all get in a line. Okay, bathroom break. We'd get in a line, and then we'd march down the hallway. Single file line.
Single file.
Did you do hugs and bubbles?
Maybe when I was a bit younger, but
What's hugs and bubbles?
So
Is that
so hugs and bubbles is when
Well, that's
like
not a-
you're being a little bit of a
Yeah.
rambunctious group, and they make you do this and then hold a bubble in your mouth so you don't talk.
okay?
yeah,
That's hugs and
Hugs
bubbles.
and bubbles.
Also, were you the line leader that day?
not as far as I know.
Ooh.
No.
No greater position than
I was
line
I
leader.
was submissive and breedable.
Oh, and
and breedable. So, there we were walking down the hall, and you know, I have to poop. Butt does ready.
butt does ready.
And so, I went into the bathroom, and my friend Ryan went to the bathroom too. That's your brother.
That's my brother.
Hey.
your older brother.
Yes.
A little bit of lore for you
A
guys.
little lore. And so we went to the bathroom together, you know, like men.
Like men.
And then we
Sure.
took one stall each, separate stalls, of course.
Okay.
And so we were pooping, and you know,
Okay.
we're friends, and so we like to take our time and just giggle about things. I'm gonna cut that part out, please. And so there we were, pooping, and you know, I could tell that a bit of time had passed. It's probably been 5 minutes, maybe 6 or 7 minutes to be exact. And so then I just hear Mrs. Mains's like clop 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 down the hall, like you know those high heels and in the tile.
They're so noisy.
They are all the
Yeah,
time.
and that just it echoed in that hallway. 'Cause
Mhm.
everything was concrete or tile, and it was just
Right. Yeah,
like
exactly.
epicenter for noise.
Batman could not sneak around.
No chance.
No. Well, he's Batman.
Okay, he can.
So
Some chance.
there we are, pooping, and we hear clop 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 down the hall, and then Mrs. Maines just kind of knocks on the door a little bit. She goes, "Boys, are you almost done? We're gonna be headed back to the classroom soon." And I, out of my genuine heart, simply wanted to convey the idea that I was almost finished. And so I just said, "Well, Mrs. Maines, I'm wiping."
So she knew in great detail. Now here's the question, boys.
Mm.
When you wipe, are you bunchers or folders of
well,
the paper?
Wait, bunch?
Bunch?
Yeah, you just kind of wad it up.
I have
and then-
tried both
No.
strategies in great detail in pursuit of figuring out which method is most effective. I think folding is a superior way.
Folding.
Easily.
Absolutely.
Folding.
I don't think I've ever tried bunching.
Yeah.
That just seems like it would almost be like more of a
Yeah,
mess.
and bunching you get one
You
go.
get one go through.
And you can't really fold it
Mm,
to get
Yeah.
another clean area.
yeah.
But if you get like a large amount, you can fold like 5-6 times.
You just keep folding.
5 or 6.
Make some
Yeah,
origami
if,
out of
if you
it?
get like if you get like 6 squares worth, and you fold like twice, and you go with like this big of a
Okay.
piece of toilet paper, then you fold, go fold, fold, fold. You can just keep
Wow.
going.
Saving the
I
trees.
think-
Yeah,
I think I go for a shorter amount of squares and less folds. So I think it evens out. About.
Did your parents teach you how many squares to take
No.
when they
No, I
taught
don't
you?
think
I
so.
got taught 3,
3.
and I think that's far too little now.
And now you do 6.
Well, I don't always
You're
do
a
six.
big boy.
It,
So
it
you
depends on the
doubled.
time. Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I've probably doubled in size since then. That was when I got like. How old are you when you get potty
Since you were a
trained?
fetus,
Like
you've
3?
doubled in size?
At least.
Big fetus.
Maybe doubled your dumps.
Doubled my dump
Yeah.
size.
Maybe.
Far more than doubled, I'd say.
I poop the amount of a fetus.
At least.
Yeah.
Oh.
But anyway, so I used to bunch. You know, back in the day, I think we called that wadding. I don't think we call it bunching. But like, back in the day, that's what I do. You know, as a kid, I'd wad it up and then I'd go and get out of here with all that.
You just threw it behind you.
Yeah,
Against the
dude.
wall.
I don't care who's behind me.
Sticks to the wall.
just bank shots into the toilet behind you.
Yeah, I was a trick shot kid.
Dude perfect before dude perfect.
That's right. I was a perfect dude.
Ooh.
But anyway, where was I? So
You said, I'm wiping.
I'm wiping.
Yeah, I'm wiping
and
you.
so then I hear Ryan like laugh, and I think, what was so funny? I was just trying to tell her I was almost ready. That's all that was. and so to this day, Ryan swears that he heard Mrs. Maines say, "Well, I didn't have to know all that." But I don't remember that. But that could be.
That's a
Could
very
be.
it's a very Mrs. Main sentence to say.
Mm,
I think there's a
It
good
is.
likelihood that happened.
could be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's likely, I think.
Very much likely. Yeah.
And the next day you found out that you were expelled.
Expelled.
Expelled for
Expelled
wiping.
for
too
wiping.
loudly.
Expelled for expelling?
Ooh.
Oh, hey.
That's kind of a paradox.
Paradox?
Speaking of paradoxes,
Hey,
we're gonna analyze some of them and
yeah.
play along with us.
We thought they'd be
Yeah.
interesting to discuss
Yeah.
certain paradoxicuses.
Paradoxicussi?
Is that the
Yeah.
plural form?
No.
I don't know. Paradoxes?
Yeah, that's
There.
it.
Mm. I feel like the plural for it would be something stupid. Like it would just end up being parasites. or
Parasites?
something. They would just completely
I
change.
think it
from
probably is
everything.
paradoxi.
No,
I think it's paradoxes.
It's paradox.
It says 10 paradoxes.
Oh, it is
Yeah.
paradoxes.
But anyway.
I guess I was
Um,
wrong.
So this is actually one that I think of quite often, because when people say, "Don't listen to me," you can't not listen to them because you'd be listening to them by not listening to them. If that makes sense. I explained that poorly.
No, I understand what you mean.
But-
yeah,
Does that make sense?
I've heard it said like, "Hey, don't think about a pink elephant right now." It's like you're thinking about a pink elephant
You're gonna
because I
think
said a pink elephant.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
so you can't do the opposite of what someone tells you to do because you're going to do it
Yeah.
in some ways, I guess.
Yeah.
So the listen thing, what is the phrase?
Okay, so let's say someone comes up to you and is like, "Hey, don't listen to me."
Why
So
would someone say that?
just
It's just-
they
it's just
Oh,
a
ju-
hypo-
it's
a
just something that
hypothetical.
you could say to someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
hypothetical.
so
Okay.
like if someone tells you like some hot gossip or something and
Mhm.
says, "Don't listen to me," actually, although that's kind of an unrealistic situation, but
Or like, don't quote me.
no, not necessarily.
No?
Just don't listen to me. Don't
Well,
listen
because
to what I'm
he
saying.
said it, so I can quote it.
He says
I think-
you can.
No, I guess that's a direct order to not go and do something after
Yeah.
this. Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Sure.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
it's like-
okay,
so-
but with the listen, I've always felt, and I don't know if this is grammatically correct, but I've always felt that hearing someone is different than listening to someone.
Mm-hmm.
I've always felt that listening is like, I'm understanding what you're saying.
right.
But hearing someone is just simply the act of hearing noise.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So you couldn't just decide to not hear something.
So if someone specifically uses the phrase "don't listen to me," I think that's fine because like I don't have to take what they're saying to an understanding level.
Hmm.
Sure, but I feel
Okay,
like if
yeah.
someone, like if you're in the middle of like a cafe or like a restaurant and it's busy, you know, you can hear the have conversations.
The ambiance.
The ambiance, the restaurant ambiance,
Mhm.
and you're not listening to anything. You know, you're talking with your person. And then someone walks up to you and says, "Hey, don't listen to the conversation we're having." You're probably going to listen to it a little bit after they say that, right?
Mm.
Or at least
Yeah.
you'll subconsciously be more attentive to that voice that you just heard tell you not to listen to them talk.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. I guess that's not exactly what I was saying, but I do understand
Yeah.
that. Okay, maybe. So I kind of thought of that from reading this one, and so maybe this will be something better to read. So imagine you're holding a postcard in your hand. On one side of it, it states that the statement on the other side of this card is true, and you flip it over, and on the other side it says the statement on the other side of this card is false.
Mm.
I think that's unsolvable.
Have you guys ever seen the movie Labyrinth?
No.
I know you probably haven't.
I haven't seen it.
You probably haven't either. No. Well, there's this. So this girl's like in a maze, right? And she comes to these two doors, and so the riddle is that one of the doors always tells the truth, and one of the doors always lies. There's like door knockers that talk on the doors. right?
Okay.
Okay.
And so one of them always tells the truth, and one of them always lies.
I don't think
and so the object of
Good
this
spelling.
riddle is to figure out which door to go through,
Uh,
because only one of them is the right answer.
This looks funny.
Yeah, it's like a Jim Henson movie.
Oh, okay.
isn't Jim Henson the guy that did the Muppets?
Muppets?
That's the one.
Really?
Wow. I want to see what the door.
He's got range, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, his biography is really good.
Interesting.
Oh, so these guys talk?
So those guys talk.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm following. Okay.
And I don't know if that's from Labyrinth or if it's just a greater concept that they put into Labyrinth. But
It could be.
but I saw that, and so it's kind of the same concept. And so like I don't know, is there maybe I'm not intelligent enough to figure it out, but is there a real way to actually solve that?
I don't think so because like there's no answer because it's saying the other side is telling the truth, and if it is telling the truth, then it's saying the sentence on the other side is false, which means it's not telling the truth, which means that
They're just
the
cancel
the
out.
flipped over side is false, but then it's saying that the other side is false. It just doesn't work. I don't think it's solvable.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. Do you think that we could solve this?
I don't know. I mean, it's called a paradox for a reason, I suppose.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
could we be the bright minds
Whoa!
that figure it out?
Yeah.
I don't think we get any reward for it.
No reward.
No reward.
Okay, that's fine. We might get a little bit of a, what are those, like a Nobel Prize?
Nobel Prize
Nobel
for figuring
Prize.
it out.
Yeah. There's one up there at the top of the list I read earlier. It's about like Hamlet or something.
Hamlet.
It's the bootstrap one, number 2.
Bootstrap. Okay.
Yeah, so
The bootstrap paradox.
Basically, it says, imagine that you in a bookstore find a copy of Hamlet, right?
Yep.
This is a time travel paradox.
I
here.
love this paradox.
So you travel back in time and you find William Shakespeare, the original author of Hamlet, and you give him the book. And that then sparks the idea for him to write Hamlet. So he writes the book and he claims it as his own work. And then, it gets as popular as it did in real life until eventually you find that very same book and that cycle continues. You go back and continue to give Shakespeare the book Hamlet.
Is that? I suppose that is an example, but that's not quite the example that I've heard. I've heard that, like, you find. I like the Beatles, so I'm gonna go with the Beatles.
Okay.
Well, I guess that's a 4-person group, but forget that. So, like, it would be like if you found a Beatles record and you're like, man, I love the Beatles. This is great. And then you invent a time machine to go back and meet the Beatles, and you bring their collection of works with you, just because. And
Like
which is a Beatles song. Ha! Because.
Before they wrote it, then? Is that...
No, just like you go back to when their era of reign was.
Okay.
Like when they're making the music and you have their records.
Okay.
And so you look around for the Beatles, but they're nowhere to be found. And so the Beatles just don't exist. So then you think, well, the Beatles don't exist. I'm just going to produce this music and put it out there. And so then, did you become the Beatles? Or did the Beatles ever exist outside of you?
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
think that's. I
So
mean, they're I think they're
it's
both
the same,
examples.
It's the same concept.
but it's the same.
So yeah, for like the Hamlet one, it's like, well, who actually wrote Hamlet then? Who's the original author
Right,
of Hamlet?
right,
Because
right.
you took the finished copy, gave it to Shakespeare, and that's what he copied and plagiarized as his own work.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't actually come up with the concept, so who did? That's the paradox there. And another version of that this is always the one I tell.
Mm-hmm.
So I've told you guys this before. But you get a time machine, you go back in time. Oh, that's my great-grandfather before he's met my great-grandmother and all this, and I've met him.
It would be a shame if we were to, I don't know, kill him?
Take his life, perhaps? Yeah, so you, like, kill your great-grandfather before he had any kids. So then you would have never been born because of that, but then how are you the one who killed him since you were never born?
Yeah, I guess a way to explain that could be, okay, so time is moving and it's in flux, and so then you exist at a particular point, hypothetically,
Speaking.
and then you go back in time, creating kind of a separate, like, stream, if you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so then
That's a
you
good
go
time.
back. You go back to that moment with your grandfather, and you kill your grandfather, and then that creates a separate time stream. So because you existed in the first place, hypothetically, that means that original time stream is not the only time stream that now exists, because that did happen. That happened for sure because you did it. And so then there's you going back in time here, and then you kill him. That creates a separate time stream. That's one line of thought, where the
Yeah.
world continues as if he died.
But what if there is no possibility to create separate timelines?
Well, that's where the next theory comes in that I was
Yeah.
going to explain.
Okay.
That just means that you would probably just cease to exist. Like, you wouldn't be anymore, and time would correct itself.
Okay.
So time would correct itself. So, like, you would just cease to exist. Like, you just beep, go away into star stuff because you're just not there anymore. And so, like, all the things that would have happened just simply never happened, and then there's only one time stream again. And if that is the case, if that is how reality hypothetically would work, that means that things like that might have happened before, and time just corrects itself automatically. And
So it's
so
not the first time that someone's trying to kill
maybe
your grandpa.
not, maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Time's
so-
a weird thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the fact that you're here right now proves that that hasn't happened to you, right? Or no?
Seems like a paradox.
Maybe. So, and this might be a stupid question, but there's no such thing as stupid questions, of course.
I don't know.
So let's say, like what you were saying, you go back in time. I'm gonna
Mhm.
do your arm thing because that was very nice and visual. And you kill your grandpa, and it branches off and starts a new timeline.
Mm-hmm.
On I guess a physical level, would everybody transfer over? You think, or it would just be
No, they
live
just-
they exist in both, or this one ceases to exist and it's
No, they exist in both because time isn't physical. Time's not a physical thing. Like
Yeah.
any sort of
that's true.
outside of time, if you will. So you could call that God, I suppose. Like anything like outside of time like the time streams are technically outside of time the way you visualize it, right? Because that's the stream itself. So that exists independently of the physical.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, this timeline would just continue as if nothing happened, and then this timeline would continue as if nothing happened from that perspective.
So, recently my dad got into ancestry stuff, you know, that you can do?
Ancestry.com.
Ancestry.com. And I forget what the number is, but like once you go back 10 generations, there is like an overwhelming amount of people that are responsible for your very existence. And if one of them happened to not, you know, be with the person that they were, so many people would not have ever existed, which I think is crazy.
That is crazy.
And here's what I think is a bit interesting. So as you go up the family tree, it goes like this. It gets wider. But at some point, it would have to start doing this. Because there was only 2 people to start, right? Adam and Eve. So when does that mean that there's... At one point, it was growing, and then everyone... Actually, I guess it would, because you would
No,
go...
because you're just one of those bottom of the Christmas trees, if you will.
Bottom of my Christmas tree?
Okay, so like Adam and Eve are right here. It makes kind of a Christmas tree sort of pattern.
Yeah.
This is your dad when there are all these people. It's just that this individual is looking... He can't see all these things at the bottom of the Christmas
I guess that makes
tree.
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, he can only see up.
That's true.
And so that's why it makes sort of a diamond.
Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah. I didn't think about it like that. But at some point, fairly early on in human history, according to the Bible, it would have gone like this. Because of the flood, and it was just like Noah and his family. Right? So all these other branches would have just gotten erased, and then it would have started kind of over again.
Yeah.
So I guess that would have happened, but... Okay.
Yeah, but like your dad, like if he's just one of these people, he only sees this specific
Yeah, that
branch.
makes sense.
You know, when meanwhile, alongside him, there are billions of others.
Yeah.
So...
But I guess still at some point, it would have to start going like this again, though, wouldn't it? Because it comes down to one fine point at the beginning.
I don't think we're visualizing it. I wish we had a whiteboard right behind us so I could draw this.
That'd be a good idea.
That's
idea.
podcast number 2.
Whiteboard.
Little
Okay,
Pants
so-
Podcast episode 2.
So it kind of goes like, here's your father.
Yes.
And then he goes up, mother and father.
Yes.
And he goes up, mother and father.
Mother and
See,
father.
I think that you're looking at it in sort of a upwards diamond sort of shape, when in reality, if we're just simply tracing his direct parental lineage, it's more of a line. Unless
just like a straight line, you mean?
Unless you start...
It's more branched.
Well, that's when you start to include, like, siblings and things like that.
No.
But that's what...
Because if you have here's my dad, he's got 2 parents. They each have 2 parents, there's 4. And all 4 of them have 2 parents, so we have 8. Then one more up is 16.
Well, you just
keeps
following
going
one parent, or are you following...
No, I'm following
Because
all
if
the
you
people...
just follow his father...
If you follow all the people directly responsible for my dad being alive...
I think I'm getting confused now.
If you're following everyone... So, for you are here because you have 2 parents, and that's why you were born.
What?
And those parents each had 2 parents. And all of those parents
Okay.
had 2 parents.
Yeah. Right.
So it keeps going up. So what I'm saying is it goes in this pattern, right? But at some point in your family tree, if you were able to trace it back, which I don't think is possible, it would start to go like this again because of how few people would have been alive at that time. Wouldn't it? So a true family tree would kind of be like a diamond?
I don't know. That's going to require more thinking on
Do
my
you guys
part.
need a little graph to look at? Would this help at all?
That is absolutely mind-boggling.
Okay, so
Yeah.
So we'll start right here. Like, so this is Adam and Eve, if you will.
Okay.
And so then let's just say hypothetically they had 20 children.
Okay.
And one of those lines is going to create your father.
Yeah.
So that's going to be
You know what I mean?
very
Yeah,
far
yeah.
out.
So-
I
but
think
see, it
that
depends on-
that suggests this motion, the diamond motion, because it would get much more narrower at the top.
Does it... Gosh, does it... I feel really stupid right now.
I do too.
Does it...
I haven't even been saying anything because I can't comprehend this.
It's
Does
a really
it-
tough thing.
Does it get narrower gradually, or does it get narrower sharply?
I think it's gradually, because I think it's the inverse of the beginning. or at rather the end. So if you work from the present back as you do, this motion would eventually do the same thing at the end.
I just don't think that it would.
You don't think
Yeah,
so?
I
think
don't
it'd just
see.
keep
I don't
getting
see how
bigger.
it would.
Well, why
Because
wouldn't
like the end of time will happen, and it'll never come back in. Because why would it come?
No, I'm saying at the beginning it goes back in. At the beginning of
Okay,
human history,
so
right?
It's
And then, so I'm looking at the people directly responsible for you being here right now.
okay.
So at the very bottom is you.
Okay.
And then you have your parents. That's 2. Then your grandparents. That's 4 people. Because they each have 2 parents. They're responsible for them being born, which is then responsible for
Yeah,
you
but
being
see,
born.
they also have to account for things like incest, and also the.
Oh, I
fact
guess that's true.
And also the fact that you probably have like, I don't know the percentage, but it's X amount as many male ancestors to female ancestors. You have more female ancestors than male ancestors.
That's probably true, yeah, I guess so.
Oh really?
Well, it's because men breed with multiple women. So if you take the top, so like in terms of, yes, here we go. This is what I wanted.
Here we
so,
go.
So like if we have like different like male dominance hierarchies, then that's such a
Jordan
Peterson thing.
Peterson.
But
Male
but-
dominance hierarchies.
But like the simple fact is that like the top X% of men, and it's a small percentage, get multiple women, and that's true of multiple like animal kingdom hierarchies, including ours. And so, you know, I'm not saying we're animals or whatever, but like it's true for ours as well. And so if those like top X% of men get many women, then that's one, or like for the sake of simplicity, let's just say that's one man for every like 10 women. And so that's why there are more female ancestors than male ancestors.
Yeah, like...
Maybe because the bottom, like homeless men, maybe in today's society, but like back when things were more like primal and raw, those men wouldn't get to breed because women wouldn't select them.
they're the
and so
submissible.
Yeah, and so their heritage, if you will, just their heritage, if you will, just ceases to exist after that.
Because I've heard a statistic that something like in Asia, something like, I don't want to get the number wrong, don't quote me on this, but it's like 1 in every like 6 people are directly related to Genghis Khan. Because he would go
Genghis Khan,
and he would like
yeah.
a ton of people and stuff.
I'm gonna bleep that out.
Not a good guy, that Genghis Khan
Yeah.
individual. He did a lot of bad things.
Well, but I mean, like to a degree, though, Genghis Khan was just a representation of how a lot of like everything used to be.
Yeah.
It's just that he kind of did it a little bit late in the time stream.
Yeah, it's where it was like, hey, that's probably not a good thing to do there,
Right.
Genghis.
Right. Exactly.
Homie Genghis.
And if you think about it, there are examples of that sort of thing all around the world today. And I'm not just talking about, but I'm talking about like primal acts that we like kind of don't even think that we're capable of in today's society because of how advanced we are
And
technologically and
Yeah,
sophisticated.
yeah.
And you know, like I mean, like for instance, I've probably said this before to you guys at some point. Like most soldiers who have PTSD, they don't have it because of the things they've seen. They have it because of the things that they've done and didn't think they could do. So they're like savages at some point. Like, you know, and we can all be like that. See, like human beings don't understand their real capacity for terrible things. Like, I mean, it's only in the past few hundred years that we started to like actually for real be civilized. Before that, we were like, I mean, even in like gladiator days, you know what gladiators are? They're men who like voluntarily or involuntarily like tear themselves to pieces and fight each other like for blood and death and glory.
Like the
and then
Spartans.
people watch, and that's like their baseball game.
Yeah.
And how many years ago was that? Not many. And so like
More than 10.
more than 10.
At least 10.
At least.
At least 10.
Yeah.
but that's what I'm saying. Just real quick, like that's what I'm saying.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we don't understand our own capacity for terrible things because of how good we have it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's
people
like-
live like that today.
I think about like the Spartan people.
Mhm.
Those people were nuts. Because
Yeah.
like they would raise their sons to be bloodthirsty killers
Yeah,
in war.
yeah.
And like it was like by like the age of 8 or 9, you had to be able to do like X amount of things. And if you couldn't, they literally like just like killed them. Killed the
Killed
ones that
them?
couldn't do it. Yeah.
Wow.
Just, like,
Bottom of the food chain.
either that or they were like peasants and weren't worthy of anything. Like I've
Like
heard that they
eunuchs.
like threw like little boys in the river and stuff because they couldn't do things and they just drowned and died.
Well,
Wow.
Crazy.
that's like
Yeah.
that's like some like Hitler type of stuff. That's like eugenics.
Yeah, that's not.
That's what eugenics.
It's not
is.
ideal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not ideal scenario for everyone.
What a first podcast this is.
Yeah, we've gone from
Yeah.
throwing up in chapel to talking about eugenics. I guess we probably do have to censor that, don't we?
Oh yeah, we cannot.
Everyone, we are not censoring. We're just saying things that aren't acceptable on the YouTube platform.
Yeah, I mean, like
I don't know how to describe that.
YouTube graciously carries our creative efforts, and so to an extent, we do have to appeal to those powers that be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we're
we
not
have
saying
to-
anything like profane at all.
Oh, yeah, we're not cussing.
We're not.
Oh
any of
yeah,
those
we're not
cusses.
cussing, which is a sin far less than what we're actually
Yeah,
talking
I
about.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
But anyway, I think it's a diamond shaped family
Yeah.
tree lineage.
Yeah.
fair enough. That's something we'll probably have to think about a little more.
Okay, so on a much
Andre?
lighter and not confusing note, we just want to talk about a few of the things that we're working on right now, because we're working on a very big project. We're keeping it a secret. If you're following us on our Instagram, you would see that we made some little teases a little bit.
of tease
action.
Tease action.
Cute
TA.
pictures.
Tease action.
Ta.
Tom.
And so, does anybody want to spill the beans?
Spill
Or
the beans.
I want to
cat out
spill.
of the bag.
I want to spill all the beans.
Don't spill all the beans.
Or
I'll
bat out of
spill
the bag.
at least a little bit of
Just
beans.
spill enough beans to explain, but don't say what it is.
Don't
Don't
say what it is.
Don't say what it is.
Okay,
I don't
well,
think so.
so I say what style of video it is.
We're working on a very important and ambitious project similar to Joker, but we've had a couple hang-ups along the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
That the hang-ups is what has made this like 2-month gap of no content.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to make it work and kind of preparing for us to be able to continue to progress,
Mhm.
and we didn't want to be in the middle of something else. But it now appears that's probably going to be another substantial amount of time before we can make progress, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
And
Possibly.
yeah,
We'll
yeah.
see.
We'll see. Hopefully, it goes better than we're thinking. But we've made a good amount of progress on it. There's legitimately nothing more we can do
Until
a certain
point.
thing happens. So
Yes.
we have to wait to continue to make progress on that video.
And maybe if I want to give an extra little tease action.
Oh,
Tease action.
tease a little bit.
We want to try to get this done by March 4th. I don't know what's going to happen on March 4th.
Wait, what's on March 4th?
Huh,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
I
Maybe you
really
should
don't
look
know.
up what's happening on March 4th, and I don't know. Maybe you'll figure out what we're doing.
Maybe the internet will TA you a little bit.
Tease
Ooh.
action, rough, and that's one thing we're doing. We also kind of wanted to mention an upcoming series that we're going
Yeah.
to start. Well,
Mm.
actually, it's kind of funny because we're filming this on New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day we have a video coming out, which will have already been out by the time this is out. But
Sure.
That's a paradox.
that will, yeah,
Paradox I.
that will hopefully be its own series. I think it is going to be its own series. The video that's coming out tomorrow
yes.
for us, but it's already
oh,
come
yeah,
out for you.
Yeah.
But we have another series that we want to start. That should we just say what this one is?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
give it
I
away.
think so.
And so we're really
Yeah.
excited for this idea. It's going to be called "How Hard Can It Be?" And we're going to do all sorts of different things, answering questions like, "How hard can it be to build a chair?"
That's
I
probably
think-
going to be episode 1 right there.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
out of raw materials, we
We're
got to
just-
figure it out.
Yep, we can't look up any strategy. We have
Yeah.
a certain. We may set a time limit for how long we have to do it.
Wait, are you a carpenter?
I am not a carpenter.
Are you a carpenter?
I am not a skilled
I have
carpenter.
looked like Jesus before, but I'm not a carpenter.
Okay.
Yeah, don't claim
Yeah.
equal power with
No, I.
that man, you heretic.
Blasphemous.
Absolute
well, in the
heretic.
Bible
Fetus.
doesn't he say
You will do greater things
yeah.
than I. Yeah, but we won't be
I think
greater
that
than
we
him.
have access to that power.
Okay, we're getting away into another.
Okay,
part of the
okay, yeah,
conversation.
you're right. Okay, so
Yeah.
next time.
But
Next time.
yes, that's for next time. But we want to do things like how hard can it be to build a chair? And we even we know someone who's very skilled in the martial arts, and we
Yeah.
have an idea to see how hard can it be to fight. Is he a 3rd degree black belt?
3rd degree
That's
black belt.
messed
Who-
up.
And if you have any ideas for that, definitely feel free to leave your ideas for us.
Yes.
We have a lot planned that we would like to do.
Mhm. And please, by the way, feel free to leave those ideas in YouTube comments, Instagram DMs,
Or
wherever
comments.
you can find us.
Or if you already have our
or-
number.
Yeah, just
or
literally
post
just,
comments.
text
Yeah,
us
or
or whatever
text.
you want.
Yeah.
And also,
And our numbers
Yeah.
are.
For the
whole
social
movie.
security numbers, you mean?
No,
okay.
like
yeah.
address.
Here, let me read you my credit
Oh.
card information, including the 3-code security code on the back
Yeah, and the expiration date.
and the expiration date.
Oh, yeah.
My expiration is 3784.
2084.
Do we have to censor that?
Probably.
Oh.
No.
3784 is literally
You know, it's the
impossible.
month and then the
month,
day.
yeah, month 37.
Oh, no, it's a month and the year. Oopsies.
Yeah, nice try.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are some of the things that we have coming up and that we have been working on, and we're gonna be back to our consistent upload regiment,
Yeah.
I think. And And I think even if this podcast goes well or not, we're probably going to make more. I like this a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
this is very
I like
fun.
doing this
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously depending on, if it does well. Because we want to make the sort of content you guys love, of course.
Yeah, so definitely, if you guys like this, do us a big fat solid and share this around with some people who you think may also enjoy it, or maybe haven't heard of us before.
Or at least just tap that thumbs up.
Or
That'd be
tap
nice.
that thumbs up.
Please.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yeah.
very cool of you.
That'd be very cool beans of you.
Many cool beans.
Several. What type of beans? Black?
Pinto.
Pinto.
Is it
Pinto.
Pinto that has more protein than black? It's Pinto,
Yes,
right?
Pinto has
I think
more
it's Pinto.
protein than black. And we want to be protein central boys, so we'll
Yeah,
be the
we do.
Pinto beans. You've been watching the Little Pants podcast.
That's right.
Little Pants.
Episode 1, Little Pants.
Little Pants.
Everything's
we don't
lowercase
do
except
the-
for the 2 T's.
Right.
Yeah, the
we
Little
don't do
Pants.
like the lazy American thing where we put D's instead of T's in our
Little
words.
Pants.
Little Pants.
No.
pants.
We're
Yes.
proper.
Pants.
Little Pants. That means whenever we use the word mittens, we gotta say mittens.
Mittens.
And
Mittens.
buttons.
Put on your little mittens with your little buttons, wearing your little pants.
That's a lot of little things. Lots of
Lots of T's.
Lots of T's.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Okay.
Yeah. So this was the first episode of the podcast. Yes. Do let us know how you liked it, please,
Yeah.
and all that good stuff. We had a great time. I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah,
this
that
was
was
fun
fun.
to do.
Really fun. I can't wait to do the next one. Let's
Yeah.
do it right now.
Oh,
I'd like to
okay.
edit this. I can't wait to edit this.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Whoa.
Yeah, you usually
Oh.
hate it. So
Yeah.
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 Very exciting things. Yeah. Thank you for rejoining us after our long break from making content,
Yes.
everyone. Thank you very much, and we'll see you in probably our next skit or whatever we upload next. So
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Happy
Goodbye.
New Year.
Happy New Year. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye.